What's up, guys? It's John with National Sports Entertainment, and I wanted to go into tonight's game, and then tomorrow's, of course, or whenever the next game is. And I know there's probably a lot of people that probably think the Heat have absolutely no chance, and essentially that's what people have been thinking, but I'm not one of them. I did think a win made much more sense, of course, because I just think you get 2-2, even the series, and it's a 3-game series. That being said, the prospect of the Heat winning a game in Denver and then going home to tie it up is certainly not a reach. And again, the entire thing about the Heat has been that they just won't give up. They won't go away. And 3-0 on Boston, they blow that. Nobody expected them to win Game 7. They did. So there's a lot of things that, were unexpected so far. I already went into, you can throw all historical stats out the window. And one thing I don't think the Heat are going to be that Sixers team that was eliminated in 4 or maybe 5. Same thing with the Cavs, and when I think it was 2017, they were eliminated in like 4 or 5. I genuinely think the Heat are different. I could be wrong. Some crazy things that were I found very interesting. If I had looked at the box score, I would have thought, man, we got this, because everything the Cavs. Was it the Cavs? They did come back. The 2015 Cavs. I always get that mixed up. Yeah, and I think, honestly, they can do it. I really do think the Heat can do it. And I'm going to go into why. So what's interesting is the box score, and I've gone over this in my live chat, I did not expect Gordon to leave Earth. But outside of that, I was like, okay, Jokic, they're going to get him in foul trouble. Murray's going to shoot bad. I mean, we actually called Murray's line almost exactly. I said he was going to have 15 from 5 of 15 shooting. So we had some really good, close, as far as how people were going to play. We had Bam having a good game. We had him doing the 20-10. We had Kyle Lowry doing well. The role players, it really was, this game was really a matter of, a lot of just weird plays, to be honest. But yeah, it's 3-1. I don't think that's anything crazy. You saw what Boston did down 3-0. And, again, I think it's going to really come down to a team that just will not give up. And after what they did against Milwaukee, what they did against the Knicks isn't as impressive. But then Boston's the most impressive. I genuinely think that the Heat are going to wind up pulling this off. 3-1. It's not like it's a 3-0. It's been done before. And again, I know a lot of people thought, oh, they lose this game, they're done. And that's because the talking heads are saying that. So, whenever you for a good comeback, you need people to be in disbelief. So I'm not saying, they're, this is how it had to happen. I thought it was going to be 2-2, so again, I take accountability there. But that doesn't change the fact that I still have the Heat winning the series. However they get it done, I'm fine with. So if they have to win in Denver, make it 3-2, obviously 3-2, big number. I think that's fine too. And I'll go more into that. I doubt Hero will be in. I doubt suddenly they'll just have him play in Denver. If anything, they'd return him for Game 6. And again, because we've been over the target with how individual players are going to play, things of that nature, I think, again, I've been saying all along, I thought Jimmy was going to go nuts in Game 6 and 7. So they get the win in Game 5. Now Jimmy, who's yet to have a good game. You can argue it's been 10 games since he's had a good game as far as efficiency. Not just, this game he was pretty efficient. 6 for 9 on free throws on 69 day. I'm going to go into that in a second because I found a very interesting stat. So anyway, yeah, I like Miami in Game 5. Again, we did a good job of getting this finals right. So, I mean, it's even tougher, as I went over before, getting it wrong, because so many people were like, oh, Boston Lakers, and when that didn't happen, they're off the hook now. It's like, okay, we can just kind of observe. We were, as they say on First Things First, 10 toes down on Miami now for a while. So, A, it was for a reason. But B, it's always obviously the closer they come, the more you want to see them do it. So, nothing extravagant, just another example of a shellacking. And I don't see the Heat just getting shellacked out of the finals. I just don't see it happening. That's another one, like a real or fake. That's not happening to Spoelstra, Jimmy, this crew. So I do think that they'll rebound, make it 3-2, and then we'll start seeing a lot of interesting what ifs, in my opinion. But props to the Nuggets again. They played a good game. For the whether it's again real or fake. This Jokic is like out of nowhere. I get he was like all season long good, but just I've never seen a guy that essentially plays like Shaq and shoots threes. It's pretty remarkable. So it'll be interesting. I'm wondering if they do the same foul script next game, but the Heat are a little closer. And then again, they win that game. They pull out the hero card for 6 and 7. That's kind of what I'm looking at. It's how you finish the series. I keep going back to Boston, but it's really the best example. Now, 69, I went over a lot of the stuff in my live chat, too. What I thought happened if they go down 3-1 or if it was 2-2. Not much changes. Again, you win Game 5. It's essentially a 2-game series. It's not like it's something that I would consider out of the norm. And the thing that I found crazy for the Gematria people, and it's not as much Gematria, it's symbolism. But when I noticed, today's 69 day, by the way, and the Rockies are playing the Padres. And what I found interesting is the pitcher, Gomber, came into this game with an ERA of 6.99. Let's see if it updated after the game. It was 6.9. Here we go. 6.99 on 69 day. And they freaking lose 6-9. Like, in my opinion, there's no way that's a coincidence. I could be wrong, but I mean, you guys can let me know what you think of that. I found that interesting. When I saw that, I was like, I like the over. And I was leaning Rockies because I was thinking the 69 would favor the 69 guy. But just to show you guys, I do keep my eyes out for symbolism. And when it comes up like this, I certainly don't ignore it. I find the 69 incredibly interesting, how the pitcher, the date, and the score all lined up to 69. That's for the people saying it can't be rigged. Of all numbers, it just has to be that one. But yeah, I really think no one's on the Heat at this point, and that's how you establish a Cinderella. And you can call it recency bias, you can call it whatever you want, but at this point, I think people are just looking, okay, they're outclassed. This is reminding people of the Sixers. And I just don't see it. I really don't. I see a new team. I see precedents being shattered. So, yeah, I'm going to stubbornly stick with the Heat. Again, if it was 3-0, I could be a little more realistic. I could say, okay, maybe it's not going to make, that doesn't make sense. Or something of that extent. But you're deeper into the series, 3-1. You're starting to see some wear. And again, each game, Murray is just, his injury is a little worse, it seems. And again, we almost called his exact shooting, which is pretty insane. But, yeah, just not an impressive game. Gordon went off. Some other guys went off. But I think that's going to be the story in Game 5 and the games going forward. Jimmy's going to turn it on. Someone pointed out to me, every game he is like slowly getting more and more points. He had like 14, then 19, 23, 25. So I think it'd be very interesting, Game 5 he puts up 30 or something. I wonder if that trend continues, and then we have a Game 6 where he drops 40. And again, then it's just anybody's game. So while, of course, I'd rather be 2-2, and I think we all would, I certainly wouldn't just abandon ship and say, oh, that's it. That's the end of it. Because, there's teams that go down all the time, and they've come back. Now, the 3-1 in the finals hasn't been great. I think it's 13 out of 269. That being said, the Heat are about 1 in 10,000 as far as precedents they've shattered, and I don't think they're going to pull the rug here. So, yeah, I like the Heat in the next game. I'm going to look into the spread, see what they're getting. I'm assuming it's going to be around 8.5 points. That's basically where they've kept it. But I just still like them. There's not much more I can go into. And we're nailing props. We got the under again. So I feel like we have like a really good call, like read over how players are going to play, what adjustments are going to be made, things of that nature. There's just some things I can't even account for. I could not account for Gordon playing like Dr. J. That was just something I did not expect. I'm like, okay, they limit Joker. Now this guy comes out of nowhere. So it is pretty interesting how that's happening. But again, I think it's just to show how the Nuggets have all these different stars, whereas the Heat have undrafted guys. So I think the talk's going to be even guys that are on the Heat giving up tomorrow. Like, I'm talking about the mainstream guys. and I think it's going to be premature. And then it's going to be curious to see how they flip around afterwards. Oh, yeah, well, I mean, David, we're not always going to be right. I'm not sure exactly where you're heading there, but I appreciate you watching with an open mind. If you are open-minded, then I would advise you to watch back our Heat saga. Again, we had them beating Boston when nobody else did. And not only that, we had Boston coming back when it was 3-0. It was like they're probably going to come back, tie it, and then blow Game 7. So, again, we've had some really, really accurate reads. So that's why being down 3-1 isn't one that I'm exactly thinking, oh, that's the end of it. Again, they say game at a time, and I do believe it. So, again, it'd be nicer if we got it tonight because it's just nice to expand the lead. But I certainly wouldn't be pessimistic going into Game 5. I think the Heat are going to get another one in Denver, and then it comes back to Miami. To me, from the beginning, this was a 7-game series. I just don't see it going shorter. I think the books are suggesting 5, which I get it, if you're looking at the analytics. But to me, this is WWE theater, so we're going to see some crazy things happen. And I think one of those crazy things is Miami pulling off the heist of the century. But yeah, I found that Rockies thing crazy. So for the people that are into like the symbolism and the gematria, it's not something I don't look for. When it's really obvious, I point it out, like in that case. So take care, everybody, and happy earnings.